Tiger Nation, LSU fans, and college football fans. This game's pretty much about over, 45-17, an absolute shock. And let's just be real here, Florida State embarrasses LSU in the second half, completely dominates LSU, had over 300 yards in the second half compared to LSU's 90. Now, there's still a minute 26 left as the start of this recording, but 31-0 in the second half. Absolute beatdown. The right side of the offensive line for LSU was absolutely terrible today. The offensive line did play relatively bad, but it was mainly on that right side. Jaden Daniels is still in the game for whatever reason. Not sure why. He throws, it's completed, and looks like LSU's going to get a touchdown. So, anyway, now it's going to be 45-24, I guess, unless there's a flag. Complete domination by Florida State. Owned the second half, but let's just start it off in the first part of the game. When LSU was driving, got all the way down to the 3-yard line and had 6 plays inside the 2. Couldn't even score. Jaden Daniels takes a horrible sack. Florida State goes down and scores a touchdown out of it. Then LSU does bounce back. It's a touchdown. And it kind of became back and forth. LSU just looked like the better team in the first half. But those short yardage third downs and fourth downs absolutely killed the Tigers today. Horrible play calling, especially on that first fourth down and goal. In my honest opinion, not sure why you would run a play action there. The RPO was working for majority of the game. I thought LSU was going to go towards the RPO. They run that for the second fourth down inside the red zone. They don't get it. I actually liked that play call. I just thought the wide receivers were in Florida State's defensive line played really well. Jared Verch, Kalen DeLoach, Briggs, these guys were all over the field. A lot of tackle for losses. LSU could not establish a run game. Both teams really abandoned the run game. Kind of surprising. But LSU's defensive backs played really, 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 really bad. Deuce Chestnut got absolutely torched all game. And there was a lot of miscommunications and whatnot. Florida State recovered the onside kick. 75 seconds left. LSU has 3 timeouts. I don't know what would be the point to call them, but hey, 45-24 looks like to be the final. Florida State, Johnny Wilson had a really good game. He had a couple drops. Keon Coleman had a really good game. Jordan Travis he looked rattled in the first half, comes out in the second half, looks like a Heisman QB. I mean, he finished the game with 14 completions in a row or something, or 14 out of 15 for 200-something yards and 3 touchdowns. That's how he finished the game, and I think that was including the second half. The run game started to come alive. LSU's defensive line got really tired. The first half, Wingo looked unguardable. And then in the second half, Florida State did a really good job at limiting LSU's defensive line. But the story of the day was LSU's secondary playing absolutely terrible. Let's just be real here. And LSU's offensive lines, particularly on the right side, played below par. Jaden Daniels had a decent game. He kind of got a little bit too conservative, in my opinion, in the third and fourth quarter with his decision-making. The drop passes were a killer for LSU as well. Karen Lacey literally had a touchdown on a 3rd down and 6, wide open in the third quarter, drops it. And, if he catches that pass, he not only does he get the first down, he's probably going to score. And that changes the game. And then, another big thing was Florida State ran that trick play with that wide receiver who ran around and somehow completed a pass. But overall, a lackluster performance by LSU. just being real here, this is a tough way to lose. I know it's week 1. LSU was able to turn it around last year. This is a little bit different. You got blown out in a quote-unquote neutral siting game. Florida State, this was a home game for Florida State, just like it was last year for LSU. Brian Kelly play calling was suspect, especially in short yardage. But man, LSU's gonna have to fix their offensive line. Closing remarks. Florida State's gonna be really, really good. They look like they look like the best team in college football right now. Now it's only been one game. I'm not gonna go further on to that. Jordan Travis played really well, other than a couple bad throws. Wide receiver core played pretty well. Trey Benson and Florida State's offensive line started to get a handle of it in the second half. Defensively, they played pretty much outstanding. That front seven for Florida State is for real. That's one of the best in college football. I've been telling people that all offseason, that Florida State might have the best defensive line in the ACC. A lot of people point to Clemson. This defensive line for Florida State is much deeper than Clemson's, and that's just the truth of it. Now, you'll see Clemson tomorrow. But anyway, for LSU, in my opinion, I feel like LSU is going to be able to come back from this. However, I think this is going to be an 8-9 win season for LSU. That offensive line is just too weak. It's going to be hard to fix that in a short period of time, because you're gonna be playing at Ole Miss, at Mississippi State. Now, Mississippi State didn't really look great, but they played an FCS team. But and then the DBs, that's just gonna take time. And let's just be real here. If you're trying to have a dream season like what a lot of people, including myself, I had LSU in the playoffs, your DBs have to play a lot better. And I'm sorry, I just don't see LSU's DBs being good enough to get LSU to where they want to go. But LSU gets embarrassed today, 45-24. No one saw this coming, not even Florida State fans. Not even rational Florida State fans. Shout out to Florida State. This was a dominant performance in the second half, 31-0. Looked like a completely different game. Let us know what you guys think. Sorry, LSU fans, on the loss. But Florida State fans, listen, you guys got a special team, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I know it's week 1, but it's going to be hard for me to not see Florida State in the playoffs this year. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.